I want you to understand something. First, this didn't start with screaming. It didn't start with violence. It started with silence. I was alone when the first phone landed on my desk. No case file, no explanation, just a device sealed in an evidence bag. The screen was already on, black, waiting. I work in digital forensics. When phones don't make sense, they come to me. Most of the time, there's a reason. This time, there wasn't. The phone belonged to a teenager, 17, found sitting upright on his bed. No injuries, no struggle, just his phone in his hand, and his heart stopped. The screen showed a single word, ready. Below it, a timer, at 0. I assumed it was an app, malware, a prank, a mistake, but it wasn't installed. It didn't exist in the system. No files, no permissions, no history. Yet the screen wouldn't turn off. I called the only person I trusted, Mark. We'd worked together for years. He was smarter than me, more careful. When Mark saw the phone, he didn't touch it. He just stared. Then he said something I still think about. It doesn't feel like software. More phones arrived. Different people, different places. Same black screen, same word, same timer, always ending at 0. Every victim died differently, but not randomly. Each death matched something personal, a fear, a history, a memory. Like the phone already knew them. One night, while Mark and I were watching a device, the screen changed. The timer appeared again. This time, it was counting down. Neither of us touched it. The numbers moved anyway. That's when I noticed something strange. When I doubted it was real, the timer slowed. When I wondered if it wasn't, it jumped forward. Mark told me to stop looking. He said, "Whatever this is, it reacts to understanding." The next day, Mark didn't answer my calls. By the time I reached his flat, it was quiet. Too quiet. His phone was on the table. Black screen. No timer. Just the word, ready. Mark didn't die immediately. Doctors said his body was healthy. His heart was strong. His brain was intact. But he never moved, never spoke. As if something inside him had already decided. He died hours later, without warning. After that, the investigation ended. Phones disappeared. Reports were sealed. I was told to forget the app ever existed. But it didn't forget me. My phone started lagging. Videos freezing. Sound drifting out of sync. A delay between thought and action. Then one night, the screen went black. The app didn't introduce itself. It didn't need to. The timer was already running. It didn't show me how I died. Not at first. It showed me things I'd avoided. Moments I regretted. Words I never said. Choices I never fixed. The longer I watched, the clearer it became. The app doesn't kill you. It removes uncertainty. When you finally understand, when you stop guessing, when you know, your body lets go. I tried destroying the phone. It didn't matter. The app isn't in the device. That's just where it appears. It slows when I doubt. It speeds up when I accept. It's patient. I don't know what it is. A system, a reflection, a mistake. I only know this. Everyone else is gone. I'm still here. Not because I'm stronger, but because I haven't fully understood yet. The app is open. The timer is moving. Slowly, and as long as I keep hesitating, I survive. But one day, I'll understand. And when I do, the countdown will finally make sense. And that's the part I haven't said out loud yet, because saying it makes it feel closer. After the timer appeared on my phone, I stopped sleeping properly. Not because I was afraid of dying, but because I was afraid of understanding. Sleep makes things clear. Dreams connect thoughts you keep separate while you're awake. I couldn't afford that. I started leaving the phone face down, not because it helped, but because it made me feel like I still had a choice. The timer kept moving anyway. Slow, patient. I noticed something else. The app never rushed me. No notifications, no alarms, no warnings. It didn't need to. It knew I would keep checking. When I finally looked again, the screen had changed. Not the timer, the space around it. The black wasn't empty anymore. It had depth, like staring into a room with the lights off. I realized then that the app wasn't showing me images. It was creating space, a place for something to exist. That night, I heard Mark's voice, not clearly, not as a memory. It was distorted, fragmented, like audio playing from another room. I checked the phone, no sound, just the timer. Moving, I told myself it was stress, grief, lack of sleep. But the app responded. The timer jumped forward, as if acknowledging the lie. That's when I understood the first real rule. It doesn't punish fear, it punishes dishonesty. The next morning, I tried something reckless. I accepted it, not fully, just enough to test it. I said, out loud, in an empty room, "This is real." The timer surged. Not dramatically, not instantly, but noticeably, like something leaning closer. I spent the rest of the day denying it again, telling myself it was coincidence, that my brain was filling in gaps. The timer slowed, satisfied. I don't think it wants you dead. I think it wants you finished. A week passed, then another. The timer never stopped, but it never reached zero either. I existed in the space between, waiting. During that time, I found something buried in the confiscated files. A report that hadn't been properly erased, just hidden. It described a case from years ago. Before smartphones, before apps, a man found dead at his desk. No injuries, no cause, just a notebook. On the final page, one word was written repeatedly. Ready, 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 no explanation. The report ended with a single line. Subject demonstrated awareness prior to death. That's when it clicked. The app didn't invent anything. It adapted. Whatever this is, it existed before technology. Phones just gave it a better interface. That night, the app showed me something new. Not an image, a sensation. The feeling of standing at the top of a staircase in the dark, knowing you could step forward, knowing you could fall, knowing you won't stop yourself when it happens. The timer sped up. I dropped the phone. For the first time, I felt anger. Not fear, not curiosity, anger. And the app reacted immediately. The timer froze. That surprised me. Anger wasn't acceptance. It wasn't denial. It was resistance. I held on to that for days, weeks. I let the anger replace the questions. Every time my thoughts drifted too close to understanding, I pulled them back. The timer crept, but slowly, until the dreams started. In the dreams, I wasn't dying. I was explaining, talking to someone I couldn't see, describing the moment when everything made sense. Every time I got close, I woke up gasping, heart racing, phone glowing, timer jumping. I stopped dreaming after that, not sleeping, just resting, shallow, careful. Then the app showed me something I wasn't prepared for. Not my death, someone else's. A woman. I didn't recognize her. She was sitting alone. Phone in her hand. Black screen, word at the top. Timer moving. The app wasn't threatening me. It was showing me continuation. Proof that it didn't end with one person. I realized then why Mark had to die. Why the others did too. They weren't mistakes. They were confirmations. The app doesn't act until it's certain you understand what it is. Not intellectually, instinctively. I understand now why some people lasted minutes, and some lasted months. The difference isn't strength. It's how long they could avoid the final thought. The thought that ends everything isn't, "I'm going to die." Everyone knows that. The thought is, this is how it happens. The moment you know the shape of it, the texture, the feeling in your chest, the exact second it becomes inevitable. That's when the body stops arguing. The timer isn't counting down to death. It's counting down to agreement. I'm still here because I refuse to picture it clearly. I blurred the edges. I interrupt the thought. I stay just uncertain enough. But it's getting harder. The app has learned my habits, my distractions, my patterns. It knows how to guide me closer without pushing. Sometimes, late at night, I feel calm. Too calm. And that's when I know I'm in danger. If you're listening to this and wondering why I'm telling you, it's not a warning. Warnings don't work. It's not a confession either. Confessions require relief. I'm telling you because the app reacts to being known. And as long as I'm explaining it, as long as I'm keeping it external, It stays slightly out of focus, but I can feel it waiting, not impatient, not angry, just certain. The timer is still moving, slowly, and one day, maybe soon, I'll stop resisting the clarity. When that happens, I won't panic. I won't scream. I won't fight. I'll understand, and that will be enough. Until then, I remain unfinished, and that is the only thing keeping me alive.